Hey there, Libra, it's Keaghan. Welcome to your December 8th through the 14th, 2019 general love reading. If you are returning, it's good to hang out with you again. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy the reading. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I pulled all of the major arcana cards out from one of my decks. I'm just going to mix them up here. And I'm going to pull 3 out randomly and see what's going on just in terms of the most present energy for you guys. And then I have several decks off to the side here that I pre-shuffled that I'm just going to use to clarify the cards that come out. I want that one. That one. There we go. All right. This is a general reading, guys, so keep a couple of things in mind. Energies can be reversed. Don't force anything. If it doesn't resonate with you, just leave it behind for the people that it's meant for. This is for Libra Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising signs. Crosswatchers, you're welcome here. I'm reading from the perspective of Libra, but again, energies can be reversed. If it's reversed for you, just take it that way. Please don't make any huge major life decisions based on a general reading on YouTube. And I think that's everything in terms of the housekeeping. Let's see what you have here. First card out, you have the World upright, the Hermit coming out upright, and then the Hangman Libra. What's going on? This doesn't sound like you guys at all. Okay, we'll clarify as we go, though. I'm going to walk you guys through these 3 cards. I'm just going to get the deck I'm going to use for clarifying a couple of shuffles so it's ready for me. Okay, let's talk about the World card here. It can mean a couple of things. This can represent just being in a place where things are coming to a close. There's a completion, a pretty major completion of something that's happening. It's also, this card does feel to me energetically like there's some sort of an accomplishment, meaning there would be something that you had been working on for a very long time, something you'd been putting a lot of effort and energy towards, and that was finally accomplished. In that context, which is what I think I'm going to go with here for this reading so far, it would make sense having the Hermit and the Hanged Man here coming out. You know, after something that has really taken a lot of your investment, a lot of your time, what's great about you guys is you do strive to seek balance. You do really try to have things be as orderly as possible. And one of the awesome aspects of that tendency is that when you have been putting in a lot of work, when you've been burning the candle at both ends, once you have that success, you do take the time to rest and recuperate and regenerate so that you can be at your best. So in that context, this makes sense. You know, as we clarify these, we'll go a little bit more deeply with it, but I do just want to talk. You have 2 cards here. You have the Hermit, which has come out upright, and you know, I like the Hermit card when it's upright because this just represents a situation in which you're doing some introspective sort of thinking. There's a certain sort of solitude to it, meaning you're just hanging out with yourself, spending time with yourself, maybe not being super social, but you're not isolating. You're not in a situation where you've withdrawn all of your energy and you're not returning calls, you're not returning text. But this would be a situation where maybe, you know, instead of going out, instead of being out and being social, maybe you have a friend come over and you just have a nice, chill, relaxed night at home, watching a movie or having dinner. And then when they leave, you're just with yourself, you're listening to music, being calm and building your energy back up. Okay. This Hangman coming out reversed, it's interesting, both of these cards coming out. With this Hanged Man, I'm not super crazy about this card, to be honest with you. I really am interested to see when we clarify this what comes out. This card, when it's reversed, represents being in a situation where you're not making a decision. You feel like you can't make a decision. It can also represent stalling on some type of area, not wanting to put in the effort. I wish that this card had also come out upright, because then I would be like, yeah, you're just chilling out. But this, to me, there's a little bit of energy here that I want to explore. I'm going to give this deck one more shuffle, and then we're just going to clarify. I have several decks. We're just going to clarify as we go with this reading. So let's take a look at this. I do sense here this was something that you really did put a ton of work into that finally closed out. You have the Page of Wands coming out here, clarifying it. So the Page of Wands... This is interesting because I feel like this is really where you want to end up. So first of all, the Page of Wands just represents right off the top a free-spirited type of energy, someone who is really just carefree and relaxed. They're they're just focused on the fun. They're focused on doing what they want to do, and they don't have a lot of obligations and connections, things that are holding them back from just being able to do what they want sort of on a whim. The other great thing about the Page of Wands is that it really does have a lot of potential, like almost like a limited potential in terms of what it can be. Now, for some of you, this could represent communication coming in around this accomplishment, around this closure. So you could have just gotten word that this was finalized, this was finished. I just had a flash of someone finding out that they got into a specific type of program, some sort of communication around something that was completed. So like a thesis being accepted and then finalizing studies, that type of messaging. But what I really get more from this is that now that this is closed out, what you're really trying to get back into is feeling like you have a little bit more flexibility and freedom in your life, which makes sense here in terms of rebuilding your energy. Let's take a look at this Hermit card. Clarify the Hermit for Libra, December 8th through the 14th. Give me more insight into the Hermit. There's the Hermit here in this reading for Libra. You have the Ten of Pentacles coming out reversed here. I want to get one more on this card. Why is the Ten of Pentacles reversed? Why is the Ten of Pentacles reversed? You have the Knight of Pentacles also coming out reversed here. Okay, well, this is interesting. The Ten of Pentacles reversed speaks to financial things, all things financial, and the potential pitfalls of those. So this could be having something that did not pay out financially, suffering a pretty major financial loss. It can also represent more of an obsession with wealth, or being totally focused on money, totally focused on work, not really having the fun in your life that you desired. Makes sense from what I was saying. If you have been really focused and life has felt very unbalanced, like you've had to put in so much work and you've really been struggling with wanting to feel like you've had a little bit more freedom, that is what's motivating this Hermit energy. Again, it's like I was saying, building up your own energy, getting your reserve back up, recovering from things being a little bit out of whack and being unbalanced. The Knight of Pentacles represents a pretty stuck energy, feeling like you're stuck, feeling like bored with how things have been. I don't feel this Hermit energy lasting very long for you, I have to be honest, because I do feel like this is saying I worked really hard, I put in all this effort, life was unbalanced, I was really obsessing with work, really obsessing on what I was doing. It didn't leave me with a ton of energy, but this card for me feels both like I didn't like where I was. I didn't want to be stuck there any longer. I'm glad this is closed out, but I'm also not wanting to sit at home for very long as well. So I think you'll be shifting out of this pretty quickly. I want to take a look at this though, because the Hangman reversed, there is that place of like feeling indecision, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because you could just be really thinking about what it is you want to do next. And there's so many things that you want to do. A free spirit is really going to be in a situation where they don't know what to pick. They don't know where to go next. They don't know what to do now that they do have the flexibility. It could be that simple. But I just energetically, I feel there's a little bit here that is off. It's almost like a resistance to making a choice. There's a resistance to going forward with something. And with this Knight of Pentacles also representing that sort of stuck energy. This is, again, let's see what comes out to clarify it, but I feel a little bit uneasy about that. What's the Hangman reversed for Libra? Five of Cups here. Well, that's heavy. So the Five of Cups represents a situation where we're really looking at things that didn't go well. There's a lot of regret. This card can represent disappointment or failure. It's a situation where, often readers will say this is crying over spilled milk, where we're focused on what didn't go the way that we wanted to, and we're not focused on the thing that is still available to us. It's interesting because on this side with this world card, I do feel like this closed out as an accomplishment for you. I feel like this was something that was successful. It ate up a lot of your time. Uh, I'm actually going to start over here. I'm going to get a different deck, but I'm going to start with this card because this is what I want to figure out here. Clarify the Five of Cups. Ten of Swords reversed. This is another card about, taking time to recover, regeneration, getting your energies back, recuperation. But the other thing to this, when the Ten of Swords is reversed, is it can represent being in a place where you're resisting something that was meant to end. Until this part, I didn't really feel like this was connected much to a relationship or to love or to any sort of, shared connection with someone. For some of you, it could well be. It could be that the focus that you had in life being a little bit unbalanced and having to put so much effort and energy into this, whatever this was, it did cost a relationship. A relationship suffered, potentially came to an end because of that, and you do have regrets about it, and it's just leaving you in a situation where there's almost like a feeling of, well, now that this is done, it sucks that this person wasn't able to stand by me. It sucks that this person is no longer here because now I have the freedom to do the things that I want to do, and I really wish I could share it with that person. It's an interesting dynamic here. I'm going to go clarify this next, but this feels very successful. This feels like there's a lot of regret and wishing things had gone differently. And then in the middle here, it's just this notion of dissatisfaction, wanting to shift things and feeling like you're stuck. This is a weird reading for you guys. Typically, you're very straightforward with me, and this feels. But you guys also tend to be the most guarded sign when I read. You don't like to give a lot of information, so this could make perfect sense to you, but I am going to poke around a little bit more. You guys can deal with it. We're only 12 minutes in. You can suffer a little bit more with me being nosy. Let's take a look here and see. I want to take a look just at this free spirit energy and see what wants to come out. Oh my god. Okay, that card literally flew across the room. I'll be right back. It flew all the way across the room. You have the Six of Swords. I like this. This just represents change, a transition of sorts. It's a releasing of things that have been weighing you down. Again, definitely clarifying what that free spirit energy is. That's not bad. I just need to figure out how this is connected to this. So let me get into the energy a little bit more. Let's go here and clarify this. What's the energy here around the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Ten of Pentacles reversed? You guys are funny. Okay, so clarifying this, you have the Ten of Pentacles, which has come out upright. This does make sense to me. The Ten of Pentacles just represents being in a place in which you have financial security, you have the feeling that you have long-term stability, long-term success around something. It does also represent the notion of family, having a stable relationships, having a stable home, all things around that. What this is saying to me is that this hermit vibe that you find yourself in is you really want to be able to manifest this Ten of Pentacles, this stable, long-term, successful feeling of having the things that it really is having the things that you need. It's not necessarily pushing yourself and becoming obsessed and acquiring tons of things that you don't really need, that you don't really want. I think you're just realizing that you have to have balance in the situation. This definitely feels very off balanced, which is not a good space for you guys. I think you're really happy that this closed out. You're proud of yourself. You're accomplished, but you're really setting out and making sure that moving forward, having these things and having success, that you're coming at it from a place that isn't going to put your life into like chaos, and you're not going to be in a situation where you're having to work all the time and you can't spend time with your friends. You can't have a healthy relationship. I think maybe that's what this is that you're shifting and you're reprioritizing what it is that you want to go after. And I think this is starting to make a little bit more sense to me. When you look at the situation, yeah, you got some good out of it, but it also cost you a lot. And you're looking at the situation, and it's funny to me because for Libra, if you guys look at this and you go, well, yeah, there are 2 cups back here that I got, but there are 3 that are spilled. So this is like, you guys are very much about like, there should be 3 that are upright and only 2 got spilled. And if not, then this is something that's cost me and I'm not ready to move forward. I'm not ready to reinvest in this particular type of thing again, because I want to have this be more balanced. I want to feel like, yes, I'm putting my efforts and energy into things. I'm working hard, but that can't come at the cost of everything else in my life. I'm not willing to do that. So this is starting to make a little bit more sense. I think I feel where you guys are going with this, in that even though this was a big accomplishment and it was something that you worked really hard on, you are looking back on it and there is a bit of disappointment in how much it cost you and how much time it did take and how much effort and energy it took. And you're really working to make sure that you don't end up in that situation again. It feels with this this particular Ten of Pentacles, which I'm going to put back down here, this is what you want, and you've readjusted from what it was, because how it was before and what you were going after, it cost you, and that Ten of Pentacles didn't feel like the right fit. It was reversed, and you're really wanting to make sure that what you're going after now is going to allow you to have more in your life than just this work. This feels very associated to work and career. And I also really do sense, especially with this free spirit type of vibe, like you want to ensure that your life has more fun. You want to ensure that your life has more flexibility. For a lot of you, you could really be shaking things up in terms of your work. You could be considering leaving your work, finding something else, really shifting even like the field that you're in, because you're just realizing that what you're doing now is always going to be something that takes up so much time, and it doesn't allow you to have the type of balance in your life that you really want. I want to take a look at this Six of Swords here. Why is the Six of Swords here? Clarify the Six of Swords. Oh my gosh. Five of Cups again. Coming out twice. So like I said, that Six of Swords is about releasing things, releasing baggage, dealing with change and transition within your life, okay? Five of Cups coming out again as a clarifier, and it's like I said, you guys are so focused on, it cost me this and I only got this out. Ultimately, this wasn't worth it, even though it was a big accomplishment. Even though this was something that I felt I wanted, this was something that I went after, ultimately the payout for it doesn't feel balanced to me. And so therefore I'm going to make changes. I'm going to take the time to really reevaluate and change the way that I'm thinking about this. Let's take a look at this Ten of Pentacles. Clarify the Ten of Pentacles for Libra. December 8th through the 14th. Clarify the Ten of Pentacles. Eight of Cups coming out here. Yeah. The Eight of Cups it represents a situation in which you're dealing with disappointment. You're choosing to walk away from something. You're choosing to change things, to abandon a situation. And again, with this, you have the Hermit here, you have the Hangman here. The Eight of Cups also is a card that speaks to withdrawing your energy. There's also a little bit of escapism here, and I think that's also something that I picked up on. You're just not wanting to be engaged as intensely as you have been. You're wanting to just chill out and be relaxed and feel like you're getting your energy back up. The energy level here for you guys, just in terms of this reading, is very low. I feel like you really are burnt out and you're tapped out. And it's just, you're wanting to take the time to not end up in the situation again where you find yourself exhausted, and looking at what you've accomplished, looking at what you have, these two cups here, and feeling like it wasn't worth it because it cost me this. It's interesting because typically with signs, when we're looking at this, this is almost a card of optimism in a way, because it's saying, yes, you lost, but think about what you still have and build upon that. But for you guys, particularly as a sign, that's not how your minds work. And you look at this and you just see, it cost me more than I got out of it. And you're dissatisfied with that. So let's take a look at this Ten of Swords. Why is this Ten of Swords reversed for Libra? 2 cards here. So you have the Two of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So again, this is becoming a bit repetitive, so we're going to stop with this deck, just so you guys know. But the Two of Wands represents thinking about the future, thinking about decisions, really focusing in on progress towards something. And it's interesting that the Queen of Cups came out with this, because the Queen of Cups is... it's very rooted in emotion, in love, in the connection with other people. I really do feel, especially with, you know, the other cards that have come out here, that potentially there was a relationship that was sacrificed in order to pursue this, and you felt like it was worth it. And then in the end, when you accomplished this and it came to a close, you realized that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth not being able to be around your friends, not being able to put efforts and energy into this relationship. For some of you, you might be looking at the relationship that you lost and really feeling a lot of regret around it, and wishing that things could be different, realizing that at the end, whatever it is you chose over that relationship, it didn't pay out in the way that you hoped it would. But in general, it might also just be that you've been so busy and so consumed that you haven't been able to spend time with your friends. You haven't been able to go out and even like have fun and flirt and be social. And you're just realizing, I've been on my own so much trying to get this to happen, and at the end, I don't feel fulfilled by it. And it's just left you in a contemplative place of trying to figure out what's most important to you and reprioritizing the things that you're willing to give your efforts and energy to. I'm going to go to my Oracle deck and see what wants to come out, just as advice for you guys this week. This isn't a bad reading. You know, there is lots of disappointment here and dissatisfaction, but ultimately I do feel like you're doing what you need to do. You're taking the time just to be able to think about this, work your way through it, reprioritize things, map out a plan, figure out what your new idea of ideal looks like for your life, and then moving towards it, making deliberate choices to move away from what was in the past and move towards embracing something that allows you to be a little bit more free-spirited, have a little bit more balance in your life, and also be able to make room for some fun and potentially meeting someone, or just being able to like take a trip even like with your friends. You have the time to do that now. So let's see what wants to come out from the Oracle deck for you guys. Like I just heard all work and no play. I think I might title the video that, because it's definitely what this energy feels like. Give me one Oracle card, please, for Libra, December 8th through the 14th. And one Oracle card. For Libra. Every time you guys are like, I don't need it, just stop. I'm gonna give you one though. It's the holiday season. You deserve to have at least some sort of guidance or advice around this. Okay, 3 came out. I'm gonna give you all of them. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. I feel like you're aware of that. The moment I realign with love, a clear direction is presented to me. That's definitely what we were feeling over here. And then I choose to learn through love. Absolutely, Libras, I feel very clearly that this reading is a situation of just feeling like it's been all work, no play, not being able to manifest what it is that you want, not being able to create everything that you need, feeling like your life has been really out of balance. Wrapping things up because you were committed to them. It was something that you set out to do. You did see it through to the end, even though it didn't fulfill you as much as you had hoped, and it did cost you in terms of balance of your life. You do have that accomplishment. It is something that you've achieved. I do feel like you're happy that it's done though, and you're starting to just focus on finding a way to inject the fun and the balance back into your life. So congratulations. This all feels good to me. I did hang out with you a little bit longer than I typically do. I really enjoy actually doing readings for the air signs, but all the air signs seem a little bit like, get to it, get it done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If it resonated with you, please take a moment, just give the video a thumbs up and leave me a comment. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe. I will see you guys next week with the 3rd week of December reading.